How's it going, YouTube? This is Skul, and welcome back to another Kerbal Space Program Science Mode video. I believe this is episode 14. Anyway, wow, that's odd. When last we left the Jool probe, it was on a trajectory to reach Jool. For some reason, it's actually going lower and lower, and now it's going higher and higher. I'm going to speed up really quick and put it on rails. I'm going to wait for it to go maybe a little higher, perhaps. Nah, that's good. Thing is, like, you go into the atmosphere at all, you'll start burning up. So what we'll want to do is go here, I think, or this way. No, definitely this way. So we'll want to get as close as possible to the atmosphere and just dip our toes in the top of the clouds and run all of our instruments there. Because if this thing gets anywhere close to something ridiculous, like only a few hundred meters inside the atmosphere, then it'll just burn up due to overheating. You used to be able to come to Jool and aerobrake pretty efficiently, but ever since KSP 1.0 came out, that's just not been a thing anymore. Anyway, so thanks to our on rails, we are we're going to go in about 500 meters. Honestly, even that's a little too far for my liking. So let's go ahead and go in a little further. Honestly, I think even flipping this thing around to point radial out will flip its periaps pretty significantly. Okay, I guess not. But still. And then at some point we're also going to want to do a plane change so that we're in the plane of all the moons, so we can fly by them and get all the science we can. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and the thrust limiter is low, so just tap it and then cut. Yeah, we're raising our periaps here by mere meters, which is what I want. I want to get down to like 199,750. I think that's good. We're going to go ahead and quick save because come too far to have this thing just burn up right now. Okay. Can't do atmospheric analysis, of course. We have the mystery goo. Mystery goo. Come on, I'm right-clicking it, nothing's happening. I don't know what's up with this, guys, sorry. Hold on, I'll figure out what's wrong and get back to you. Okay, I had to warp into Jool, lower Jool orbit in order to get stuff going again, and I still don't know why it's not. Come on, work for me, work for me. Fine, I'll look at something else. Materials bay. Oh, okay, we're in space near Jool. Let's go ahead and transmit that back. Experiment medium removed. Oh, okay, never mind. We're fine, we're fine. Okay, we're transmitting that data back. I can't get the mystery goo to work for some reason. I have no idea why. We're going to go ahead and transmit the thermometer and the barometer over here. I swear, if the mystery goo doesn't transmit back, I'm going to be very upset. The instrument reads 0 as if we're in a vacuum. We got some awesome data there. We're in space near Jool. So that's awesome. We're going to want to warp closer. No, I don't think we'll even warp. I think we're just going to... What we're going to do is point ourselves retrograde, because I think that this engine is best equipped to handle the going into Jool first. Mystery goos. None of the mystery goos work. Oh, fine. We're just gonna we're just gonna have to be ready. Quick save. Time warping at 10 times. 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay. Oh, you can see Lathe rising over there. That's the Jool equivalent of Europa. Well, kind of the equivalent of Europa. Europa, is, in the real world, is an icy world. Lathe is very similar to Earth. It has a liquid ocean. Okay, let's get ready. I'm very, very worried, but we're going to hope this works. Okay, we're in the atmosphere. Run atmosphere. Wait. I guess we're not in the atmosphere. Not enough, anyway. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay, run that. Thermometer, log temperature, transmit materials bay, observe materials bay, and... Wait, we're in space around Jool. Never mind, we were not in the atmosphere long enough for me to run the materials inside Jool. Well, that's a bit annoying. You know what? You know what? This is more trouble than it's worth, I think. I'm going to go ahead and get out here and plot an encounter on a few of these moons. Because that's what you guys care about, right? You want to see... Actually, we're in the plane, kind of. We're pretty close. Should probably point normal. And turn back up the thrust limiter. There we go. Okay. Now, pointing ourselves up, this should change the plane a little. Not really that much, though, because this isn't a very efficient engine. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go all the way out here at Apoaps and change the plane here. This will take a while. I'm going to just do it by myself. Okay, I believe I am in the plane. It looks pretty good to me. So my periaps is pretty high, but that's fine. I want to see if I can't get an encounter on some other thing on the plane. And it looks like Tylo is in the plane, so let's set that as our target. We can already see that we will have a close approach at some point. So what I'm going to do is go prograde, which I guess is this way. Just keep making it bigger and bigger and bigger until we get an encounter. We got so much delta V on this big engine, and we still have this small one as well. I really do think we'll be able to eventually visit all of the moons. It's just going to be a question of which ones do I get material study for, things that I can only run once, all that stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to... Holy cow, we got a ton of encounters there. Just all over the place. Let's go ahead and... There. We got our Tylo encounter. That will put us into Jool, though. Is there any way to make that a little larger, maybe? Yeah, no, that'll make us escape Jool now. And that misses it completely. Okay, try... We're getting so many encounters just because of how many moons are in Jool, or in the Jool system. Holy cow. Okay, we get our Lathe encounter, which I believe we've already had. Let's just keep looking. We're getting all sorts of stuff here. Holy cow. There we go. There's a new Tylo encounter. That does put us, again, back into Jool. Oh, that just ejects us from the system altogether. What's that? Val encounter. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Let's unset target. Val will put us up above the plane, but I can probably fix that on our way in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and quick save. Then I'm going to need to make it so that when we're about here, not there, maybe here. When this thing turns blue, there. Add a maneuver. Our periaps is far above Jool's atmosphere, so we're good. Put us further down so that our encounter with Val keeps us in the plane. Less for us to have to fix later. So... there's a lot of tweaking involved. And I'll just go with this. Okay, so let's go ahead and how do we warp to the next encounter? It's so difficult from this distance. I'm just going to warp. There we go. Okay. Next maneuver, not encounter, whatever. As you can see there, it's only a 9-second burn, and we have that much and more in this big bottom stage. I might spend another episode or two just exploring the Jool system. This is amazing. Think of all the science we're going to be able to get. So we're going to be orbiting. And what's funny is this is actually very close to the orbit of the Juno orbiter, which is in orbit around Jupiter right now. If you know anything about that, then you'll know that it is going to orbit Jupiter for 2 years, but during that 2 years, it's only going to make 35 orbits altogether, which, if you do the math, that's only about 1.5 a year, just a hair under. So the reason it does this, the reason it takes so long to do an orbit, is because it is on a highly eccentric orbit like I am right here. So it brings really close to Jupiter, except it's in a polar orbit, so it goes up and down. It brings it really close to Jupiter, but then that itself shoots it way far out like that. Anyway, just going to do my change here. I'm going to make it enough so that my Apple apps will bring me back out of Jupiter. That sounds fair. Not too much that I actually lose my encounter, but I lost it. I know it's there, it's just not giving it to me. I know it's there, I'm just going to warp further ahead. I know I have an encounter with Val. Oh, I'm going to fly right past Leif. Bye, Leif! Okay, my Val encounter is there, it's just, I don't know. So odd. And it's, well, that's a rather far out encounter, I guess. Anyway, let's go ahead and go the other way then. How's this look right here? If I go this way, that just makes it look all the more screwy. Holy cow. Let me go down. That sounds like a good idea. There, that solidifies it. Okay, I have my Val encounter. Now, I want to get like really, really close to Val so I can get as much science as possible. Not enough to actually shoot me out of the Jool system, but enough that I can get a close encounter with Val. Okay, this will keep me in the plane. That's good. Okay, that will shoot me way out there. My goodness. I'm afraid to get any closer, to be frank. You know what? Let's just do some far out science right now. This is good. So Val should be right there. That's Val. Okay. Let's go ahead and warp to our encounter with Val. And let's get our science in. Once again, I'm assuming that the mystery goo doesn't work. I would save and reset, but unfortunately, those buttons are identical to the ones I need to use to run fraps, so I can't. It's not as easy as that, unfortunately. Anyway, so let's just go ahead and log the pressure data. I got 48 science out of that. That's awesome. Oh, wait, I can't observe this mystery goo. Why can't I do the others? That's so odd. The goo turns blue and hard, but fluctuates internally. Let's go ahead and transmit that back. We are very limited on the number of mystery goos, so yeah, we do need to consider that. That's really our limit, is the things that we can't reset. Yeah, bummer. Okay. I need to find the thermometer. There it is. Temperature. The R&D guys, of course. How many? I've used 2 out of 4 science base. No, I've used 3 out of 4 science base. I want to save the 4th one for when we get our final close approach to something. Probably, I don't know. I think Lathe is a good target for when we end this mission. But in any case, we're going to now leave. I really do want to get this Tylo encounter now. So what would I need to do right now to get an encounter with Tylo? If I go faster, that won't work. If I slow down, Oh, that'll take way too much Delta V. Let's forget that. I'll get my Tylo encounter over here where it'll take the least amount of Delta V. Wait a minute. Anyway, I think that I'm going to get another Lathe encounter. Come on, I want Tylo. So I'm going to need to, yeah. See, this is a lot, but it is still... please ignore my phone. Okay, this will sway me by a Tylo and then put me onto an encounter with Lathe as well. You know what? I'll take advantage of this. I still have Bop and Paul to explore as well, but they're really not as interesting, I'll admit. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and just do the maneuver and then see you there. Okay, I have my encounter with Tylo. So you can see, even this encounter is 6 million meters away, so... or 60 kilometers, whatever. That Tylo's huge. It's the equivalent of Ganymede. It's basically like Kerbal, except it has no atmosphere, so it's really hard to land on. A lot of people end up using things like a single stage to orbit or a space plane or something. Anyway, we are now within the encounter of Tylo, which is right there. Let's go ahead and run some of these experiments. I'm going to assume we have no pressure, as if we're in a vacuum. Yep. And this will probably have something to say about the R&D guys. Yep. Mystery goos. I do still have some mystery goos left. The goo feels right at home. Transmit. And I guess I'm saving everything else. Okay. So anyway, this encounter will not bring me by Lathe. I decided not to take advantage of that because I still have the other moons to explore. I still have Bop. I still have Paul. I have no idea when I'll be able to reach them, but I'll figure out Bop and then Paul. Paul's extremely small, so that might actually be beyond my capabilities. I do have plenty of fuel, plenty of Delta V, but we'll see. I'm going to set my sights on Bop now. Okay, I have an encounter with Bop. It's not pretty, but it's something. See if I can't warp in there. It's going to be difficult just clicking because Bop's gravity is so weak it won't really make a big change when I pass by it. You can barely see. If you're watching this in HD, you might be able to see my blue line on the left and my purple line on the right. And when warping, I need to click on the blue line, which is hard when the purple one's what's highlighted. So, I guess I'll just warp here. Call it good. Yeah, okay, I am now within the sphere of influence of Bop, one of the smallest moons of Jool. It's right there. Okay. Let's see what all science I can do. I'm pretty sure I can't run atmospheric. No, I'll have to save that for Lathe. Okay, any mystery goos left? Yep. The goose seems to try to get your attention. Okay, let's transmit that. Get the barometric data. Read 0 as if we're in a vacuum. And the R&D guys, I'm sure. Yep. Okay, that's all we can do from Bop. And the last moon is Paul, which is over there. It's going to take a while, I think, for me to get an encounter there. I have the Delta V. Pretty sure I have the Delta V. Actually, not bad. Might be able to even get at this orbit if I'm lucky. I guess I'll fiddle with this and let you know. Okay, I finally got my encounter with Paul. Same thing as with Bop. It's incredibly small, so it doesn't have that much gravity on it. Nonetheless, we do have our encounter. And we actually do still have some fuel left in this tank, funny enough. So, I think we're coming in underneath it. No, it's over there. It's right there. Okay, let's go ahead and time warp in. Good, now we are over Paul. Let's go ahead and get some science. There we go. Do I have any mystery goos left? even just one? That's probably a no. I probably am out. That's fine. I got a ton of science thanks to these things, so they did their job very well. And let's log the temperature, transmit that, and all that's really left for us is to get our encounter with Lathe and destroy this thing. So all we need to do is add a maneuver at Apoapsis again, drop it down so that we're inside the sphere of influence of Lathe, and voila. There we go. That'll probably finish off this this bottom booster. Actually, it's possible. In any case, we are just going to take the top down. So let me go ahead and get this set up for you, and I'll see you when it's all done, when it's all ready. Okay, so my encounter with Lathe is way down there. What I want to do is sort of do an aero braking maneuver. I want to get myself to within about 15,000 meters of the surface. We do, in fact, still have a tiny bit of fuel left here on the bottom stage, so I'm going to use that to start. Then there's absolutely no way I'll be able to raise myself up enough to make enough of a difference using just that, so then I'll have to switch to my other one. But hey, this orange tank was great. It got me all the way to Jupiter, got me all around Jupiter's moons, and now it is giving me a little kickstart on the way to the final destination. Okay, here we go. Now these are not as efficient by any means, but they'll do the job in getting me to Lathe, I think. So the first thing I want to do is bring myself up closer to the plane. Then I want to point myself like this. Maybe like that. There we go. See how the distance is dropping faster? Like I said, I'm aiming for about... I'm aiming for about 15,000 meters. That's a good aero braking altitude. In any case, I'm not expecting to survive, but well, no matter what I do, it doesn't seem to be the right direction. How odd. Yeah, definitely. Hold on, let me figure this out. Okay, going that way. Which way is that? Okay, this way. How interesting. Thought I was going that way to begin with. Anyway. $800, $700, $600. And this is how the Jool probe will end its mission. Going into Lathe and getting as much information as possible, plunging into its atmosphere. Okay, now, what direction do I need to go to continue going down? It looks like I need to go north a little bit again. Or up, rather, whatever. Maybe not so much this time. 11,000. I'm going to commit to that. Let's warp in. And we still had about a third of our fuel left. I really wish we could have come in on the day side, but there's only so much you could do. Okay, are we actually close enough to do some close science, or are we still far out? Yeah, we're still high over Lathe. I'm going to get to about here and see if that's good enough. Look at that, it's so pretty, so blue. Okay, looks like we just went over the South Pole there. That's why the camera flipped. Okay, is this considered near science? The answer is yes. Okay. Let's go ahead and log stuff. And we have no mystery goos left. And I want to save the final module for when we're actually in Lathe. To prepare for that, I will point myself retrograde. Because the engines can take better beating than everything else. Like I said, I am not expecting anything to survive re-entry. I forget where the atmosphere starts. I'd like to say 30,000 meters, but I could be wrong. I'm just going to have to keep hitting this until it shows up. Maybe it's 50,000. Oh, yep. Transmit. Starting transmission. It just says starting transmission. I'm burning my engines. Is it doing any good? Probably not. I uploaded 2% of my data. This is how you meet a fiery end on your mission, folks. Okay, yeah, the engine's finally overheated. They exploded. Is there anything left? Oh, wait, what's this? I think... Oh, wait, what? What is this? I have a heat overlay, so ignore that. Once again, the everything except the communicator actually made it. That's so odd. Yeah, so I got maybe 2% of the data from the atmosphere sent back to Kerbal, so I have no idea how much science that might be. It might be like half of one science, but anyway, of course, the problem now is that you can see the frame rate on the... That's fine. Let's just follow this down and see where it crashes. I can't believe it. This is the second time where something has survived. Maybe I should put my Communitron inside here. That wouldn't work because there's still no probe to go with it, but I can't click anything. The display on the barometer is off. I'm going to assume that the display for the thermometer is off as well. It is. Okay, let's just... Well, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to send it into Lathe, and now we know for sure that if we wanted to send basically anything to Jool for atmospheric analysis, we'll need to include a heat shield. Well, this is how the Jool probe ends, everyone. We ended up getting rid of that. I don't think we actually got rid of the... We did not... Wait, we have more debris? I don't think we actually got rid of the booster that it came with, but that's fine. The booster did us very well. Look at the beautiful green sky. Oh my goodness. Maybe someday a Kerbal will come and see it as well. Ooh, look, you can see Jool over there. That's so pretty. And regardless, that is the end of the Jool probe. Let's go ahead and go to the Space Center and see how much science that mission yielded. I'm going to guess quite a bit. Look at that, 1167.2 science. That is a lot of science. Now, what can that get us? Well, we can get everything else on this part of the tech tree, and we have 600 left over. That'll get us 2 of these, or a very heavy rocketry if I wanted, or advanced motors, or all sorts of other things. I could use this to start mining, which would let me... Oh man, the possibilities for science are endless, but I think I'm just going to start... I'm just going to keep to the tree. Science tech, we can do a surface scanning module, and we can do a survey scanner. I don't actually think these count to actual science. Heavy aerodynamics, I really don't care about, to be frank. High altitude flight, I absolutely don't care about. Composites gets us stuff. Basically, right about here is where I don't really care about what's in the tech tree anymore, because I usually am pretty good. Ooh, nuclear. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. I'm usually happy with what I have at this point, but I am committed to finishing up this tech tree as much as possible. I will go ahead and unlock the high power electrics as well, and that leaves us with 87 science, a good stepping stone to getting more. And I don't know what I'm going to do in the next episode, but I hope that you stay tuned then. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.